etc. We start with 1 hour chart. Okay, first of all, we refer to our analysis. If you refer to my last analysis when the price was within this move, we mentioned if we exactly in this one, we mentioned if we want to look for buy, the best things we get one more drop. And this is big because I mentioned if we get one more drop and we expected the price to take the trend line, then from there we look for buy. Even we point on this, we mentioned what we have here, we get one more drop. That's why I point on this. I mentioned even mostly we can expect to get similar to what we have here and exactly what we get. And we mentioned if we get one more drop from there, any reversal, we can look for buy with the sharp move and flag. Okay, as we can see, after the price drop, exactly tag the trend line and reverse. The only way to look for buy was this one. Okay, and this is the first option. There was a second option. We mentioned if we get the breakout of this top, which we put 12.8, any correction above that we can look for buy. As we can see, there was a small correction based on 1 hour chart, but the best things was to look at it based on 15-minute. That's mean the only way we could trade with this option to look based on 15 minutes, because based on 1 hour chart we didn't have the proper correction. Okay, and this is the second option. And the third option, I mean, we mentioned having entry above the top, but I mentioned it can be really risky. That's why I just leave it for the traders. Okay, because and even the third option was there, we get the trade. That's mean whether we get the trade from here as we were expected after the price to drop and take the trend line, and the second option having entry above the top, and third option was this. Okay, as I mentioned, the third option was just we could only trade based on lower time frame. By the way, as what we expected happen, because we expected price to drop and reverse, and this is what we get. And anyone is in the trade from any option, whether from here, the first option, second option, or the third option. At least right now they should, if they want to keep the trade, move their stop loss to break even. Okay, and in this case, we want to what's the next. We start with for daily chart. The only thing is based on daily chart, we want to see whether there is a continuation or not. We cannot analyze anything based on daily chart because we have only, but after this corrective move, we have this sharp move. All right, better we move to forward chart. Okay, based on forward chart, what we have been looking for to get to put this one in relative to this, exactly what we expected happen, and even the price easily, correctly tag the trend line and reverse. Okay, and this is what we were expecting and what we get if we the breakout of this top. Right now we have if you want to look for the new trade, we need to get the correction. That's mean right now we cannot look for buy or sell. Okay, and the only thing is if we put this one in relative to this, MACD doesn't show us anything, but the another one shows the divergence. We have two different information. Okay, now if you want to look for buy, as I mentioned, we have to wait, and if we get the correction, we can look for next trade. But rather than that, we cannot. The only thing is whoever in the trade, they should start to manage it, at least move their stop loss to break even. And based on 1 hour chart, we have nothing else. The indicator doesn't give us any information. And as I say, if you want to look for next trade, if we get a correction, whether a small correction or big correction, we can look for trade for next trade. But any trade from now we consider as a short term, especially if we get a small correction. Rather than that, we cannot jump into the trade and buy, or even there is a continuation. Okay, and the only right now we cannot look for sell unless this one start to correct. Then from there, any sharp with the flag, we can look for sell. Okay, and the sell right now we cannot say. We can look for sell on it because we are not interested. We are interested in the continuation. Okay, but as I say, we don't have any trade set up. If you want to get the buy, we have to get the correction. Simply we cannot jump into the trade. At least this one tend to a bit deeper correction, because right now we cannot buy with a small correction similar to any of this, because even this one to trade we should only was based on 15-minute chart, and this one we can consider as a correction with the 3 to 4 hours because we were expecting the as a reversal. Okay, anyway, even if we move to 15 minutes, we see that even this one based on 15 minutes, we could have a better confirmation. That's mean whatever the trade we get here was to trade based on lower time frame, not 1 hour chart. Okay. By the way, we don't have any other trade setup. We just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.